everyone, and welcome to the inaugural episode of Cavletics, brought to you by the Bossier Parish Community College Athletics Department. I'm your host, Charlie Cavell, athletic coordinator here at BPCC, and every Friday we'll be bringing you the latest on Cavalier athletics. With that being said, it's only appropriate that we bring in the man who heads up our BPCC Athletics Department, Athletic Director John Rennie. John, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Charlie. Excited to be here and excited to start this new venture for our athletic department.
We're going to start by doing a review of the 2017-2018 school year. It was quite a year for Bossier Parish Community College athletics. Full disclosure, I'm still one of the new faces around the athletics department, having started just about a year ago in September 2017. But if you would tell us, John, about some of the other new faces that we have around our athletics department and some of the exciting things going on within athletics.
Yeah, absolutely. We, like you said, we hired you in September 2017 last year. You've been with us right at a year now, doing a great job with our sports information, our public relations, marketing, getting the Cavletics show going. We also brought in Tina Barth as our athletic coordinator, who handles our administrative stuff, a lot of the academic stuff that we do. Tina was a BPCC employee has been a BPCC employee for a while, and she just transferred into our department right before you came. She came in July of that year. We've got a new coach, new head coach that we'll get to. I know if not later this episode, later our next episode, we hired a new women's basketball coach. And some new assistant coaches on staff this year as well. So we're really excited about the direction we're heading.
Well, let's talk now about something that is very near and dear to your heart, women's basketball. And you started the women's basketball program here at BPCC in 2012-2013, and it's been you've been the only coach that the program has ever known. You know, how do you start up a basketball program at the collegiate level?
Well, it was an amazing honor to be selected to start the women's basketball program here at BPCC. When they decided to start women's basketball, I was all on board and went through the interview process and was very excited. I saw a great opportunity. I've been coaching in the area for about 20 years, know the talent level, and know that it's a gold mine. And so, you know, to start the program was a great honor. And to start it in the conference that we play in, which is one of the toughest conferences in the country for women's junior college basketball, I knew it was going to be a challenge, but I knew it would be a lot of fun also. And so we got it started that year, 2012-2013, actually qualified for the postseason our first year, and so we're really excited about that. And then went on the next 2 years to have really good years, finished with 19 wins both of those seasons. And so we've had some success over the past 5 years. Brought quite a few players through and have moved quite a few players on to bigger and better things, so to speak.
Well, and you touched on that. You've had a few players who have had good seasons, have since gone on to further their education and their basketball careers, including one that's very special to really both of us in our entire athletics department, Nigerian-born post player Damilola Balogun, who, despite missing a good portion of the 2017-2018 year with an injury, signed a scholarship with McNeese State University in Lake Charles. What an exceptional young lady this is, folks. And you know, let's see what Dami's amazing story is all about.
My name is Damilola Balogun, and I'm from Lagos, Nigeria. I grew up in a family of 4. Both of my parents are now educated. They didn't go to school, they didn't have a job, but they always strive just to make sure that anytime they come back home, they have something for us. I mean, there are days that we don't have food to eat, we don't even know where the food is gonna come. I mean, there are days that I only have 1 meal a day. But the way my parents do raise me is just to be appreciative of those things. A couple of weeks back, me and my team had the opportunity to go to St. Peter to help pack food for people in Africa. I was really, really excited. I was excited because I know what the food is going to do to those kids, because I've been one of those kids. I know, so I was so happy that we as a team could be able to do that, because poverty is real. There are kids out there that they don't know where the next food is going to come from. There are parents out there that they're sad because they can't give to their kids. So it's really big on my heart, and I really appreciate the fact that my coach, Coach Rennie, give us the opportunity to be able to do that. As a team, Lady Cavs, we strive to be champions in the classroom, in the community, because we know the value of it, and in competition, because we want to win.
that amazing story on Dami was, touched us all and really was the catalyst kind of for bringing her to Bipsy, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, her story is a phenomenal story. As a coach, you end up growing close to all of your players, but there's some players sometimes that just you build that special bond with, and I really had that with Dami, and it wasn't just me. There were a lot of people on this campus that had a real special bond with her just because of the person that she is, and we're excited for her to be playing at McNeese State next year and to get her bachelor's degree from down there, and nice that it's kind of close by so we can go watch her play.
Well, one of the young ladies that was seated right directly behind Dami was Airline High School product Tyra Kidd, who signed with Southwest Baptist University in Bolivar, Missouri. You would get after Tyra pretty good, but I think most people understand that a coach does that to push an athlete to be better than they think they can and reach a higher potential. Tell us about your relationship with Tyra Kidd.
Yeah, Tyra was, again, a special athlete. Tyra came in her freshman season as a non-scholarship player. Graduated from Airline High School, had a shoulder injury her senior year at Airline that kind of hampered her a little bit, and so we were fortunate that she came to Bipsy as a non-scholarship athlete, worked hard as could be her freshman season, really contributed significantly her freshman year, and so she earned a scholarship for her sophomore season. Tyra came in, she has a lot of offensive skill, and even though she played in the post and is a bit undersized for a post player, I fully believed in her ability to not just play, but I mean she could dominate some of the players in our league, and especially on the offensive end. And so I would just try to push Tyra to meet that level that I thought she could be at. And it wasn't from a lack of effort. It was just, like I think you said, it was just a matter of a mental aspect of believing that, hey, I belong here and that I can not just play, but I can dominate these other players.
Well, finally, guard Brandy Harris from Benton signed with Mississippi University for Women in Columbus, Mississippi. Brandy really came on strong in the middle of the season where she scored a career-high 26 versus Blinn and had like 5 straight games in double figures. Tell us a bit about how, Brandy coming from Benton, place where you live, but really came on strong for you in the middle of the season last year.
Yeah, obviously, anytime we have a local product, whether it be Airline High School like Tyra or Benton High School or Parkway or any of the Bossier Parish or Caddo Parish schools, anytime we bring a local product in to play on our team, it's special. And when I recruited Brandy out of high school, I knew she had the ability to be a scorer. Her senior year at Benton, she stepped up in ways that I don't think anybody around here imagined she would, and led that team to a pretty good playoff run and carried them on her shoulders scoring-wise. And so I knew she had that ability coming in, but she really kind of came in and concentrated on the defensive end. I think part of it was just a little bit of a lack of confidence and believing in herself that she could score. But she absolutely did come on the middle of the season last year, had some big games for us point-wise and scoring. And so very proud of Brandy to continue her career just like Tyra and Dami are.
Well, now let's turn our attention to men's basketball, and what a resurgent year for Coach Chris Lovell and his Cavaliers. Chris in last year, in 2017, 2018 which was the 50th anniversary of Bossier Parish Community College and the 35th season of Cavaliers basketball. Lovell led Bipsy to a 17-14 record. It was the best record for a Cavaliers team in over a decade. The Cavaliers' 17 wins were the most wins posted by a Bipsy team since 2007, 2008, a team that won 17 games. Last year, the Cavs went 19-10 in Region 14 play, which was Bipsy's highest conference win total since moving into the region, and which is considered to be one of the toughest in the country.
It is. We have the fortune, some might say misfortune, but I consider the fortune of playing in Region 14 of the NJCAA, which is without a doubt in all sports one of the toughest conferences in the country for junior college. Many people call it the SEC of junior college because of the level of competitiveness, and you will see SEC athletes competing, whether it be men's basketball, women's basketball, baseball, softball, sports that we don't necessarily compete in, but our conference does, volleyball, football. The level of competition, the level of talent is so high, and so it's for all of our coaches, it's a challenge coming in because you have to recruit the best athletes, and you have to not just recruit those athletes, but you have to coach up those athletes to play at that level.
Well, I believe I said 19 and 10. I actually meant 9 and 10, so excuse me for that one there. Lovell is the first BPCC coach since Lewis Bonner to post double-digit win seasons in his first 2 seasons. He's also the first BPCC coach since Bonner to take the Cavaliers to back-to-back postseason tournaments. After his Cavaliers won 4 straight games in the first 2 weeks of 2018, Chris Lovell was named the HoopDirt.com NJCAA Coach of the Week on January 16, 2018, and there's a whole lot of acronyms and stuff in there. But in May of 2018, Lovell received probably his highest honor, which was the Junior College Coach of the Year by his peers in the Louisiana Association of Basketball Coaches. And, Chris has come in and in 2 years has really rejuvenated, revitalized the men's basketball program here at BPCC.
He has. He's done a great job. Chris and I were actually high school teammates. We played high school basketball together, and so we have a long history. And I had all the confidence in the world that Chris could come in and do a great job building that program, and he has. He's brought in great talent, great athletes, has coached those guys up on the court, but even more importantly than that, he's really coaching those guys to be young men and to be young men of character, and that's what all of our coaches strive to do. We want to build our athletes to be. Our theme is champions in the community, in the classroom, in the community, and in competition. So it's an all-encompassing thing, and I knew Chris could do a great job of that, and he has. He's done a magnificent job, and it's going to be exciting to see just the continuation of that as we move forward.
Well, one of those young men that you talked about was post player Mubarak Muhammad. He averaged 14.2 points per game, 9.1 rebounds per game. Mo, as he's affectionately known to us here at BPCC, registered 15 double-doubles during the season, which is incredible. He had 17 games in which he hauled down 10 or more rebounds. Muhammad was was an all-region 14 selection and was the LABC Junior College Player of the Year, which marked the second straight year that BPCC has had the Junior College Player of the Year by the LABC. Lasani Johnson, who was a guard here in 2016-2017, also captured that award. Johnson has been an integral part of the resurgence of Grambling State University's basketball program. So, you talked about quality young men, and Mo certainly that. Kind of everybody knows Mo, mm-hmm. And on the big everybody knows Bo. Well, everybody knew Mo around here at BPCC.
Yeah, they did. Mo established a lot of friendships, a lot of relationships, and he was a special student athlete. He definitely put the term student before athlete. Mo ended up with a 4.0, was excelled in all the classes that he took, and then has gone on and is continuing his playing career and education at Louisiana Tech and pursuing a degree in engineering. Now, if you watch sports a lot and you see the majors that a lot of the athletes show, or even just the kind of stereotype of the dumb jock. I mean, Mo does not fit that. Mo is an incredible student, excels in everything that he does, and well-deserved just because of the work that he puts in. But we're excited for him to be at Louisiana Tech, and Louisiana Tech has already reached out to us and let us know how special he is, how impressed they are with him academically, and then also athletically as well. He's going to make a difference and be a contributor for the Bulldog basketball team this year.
One of the biggest roles for a junior college program and coach is getting players to the next level. This is one area where Chris Lovell has really excelled. In addition to Mubarak Muhammad signing with Louisiana Tech, Lovell has had forward Brandon Moore, BMO as we called him. He signed with my alma mater, Nicholls State University, down in Thibodaux, Louisiana. Tim Collins signed with Mobile College. Desmond McDaniel with Oakland University. Muhammadu Jawara, Haji as we called him, with Loyola of New Orleans. Zach Cummings and Quintrey Roberts with the American University of the Virgin Islands. And, just tell us how important that is, that you can, I rattled off that litany of players, but how important that is to recruits that you're trying to get to come to Bossier Parish Community College.
Oh, that's huge. I mean, the role of junior college athletics is exactly that. You know, and it's really for us as coaches, for our coaching staff. I say us as coaches. It's difficult to me, get used to not being one of those coaches, but our role is to develop those players to move on. And it's part of it. What I loved about that job was I get to recruit players, but my players get to be recruited also. You know, when you coach at the 4-year level, just about all of those, I mean, it's a very small percentage of those players that are going to continue to play after that 4-year level. But at our level, there's a large percentage that will be continuing to play and continuing their career. So it's a huge role for a junior college coach to when you recruit those kids, is to sell them on, hey, look, I mean, we're putting these players at these Division I schools or these Division II schools, and so we're moving our players forward. And so it's important. It's an important part of that role to develop those players to make them better. BMO's a great example. Brandon Moore came in as a freshman here, again, like Tyra, as a walk-on, non-scholarship player. And so he comes in as a non-scholarship player, works hard, earns a scholarship here, and now is able to go on and get his 4-year degree completed and paid for by playing basketball.
Well, and not only, and I'm going to brag on my alma mater a little bit, not only does he sign with Nicholls State, but Nicholls State's a quality basketball program that went to the NCAA Big Dance last year. Mm-hmm. So it's not like he's signing with a lower level school. He's signing with a Division I school that played in the NCAA tournament. So congratulations to Brandon, and thanks for that explanation. Shifting gears now to the spring sports, baseball and softball. We'll start first with baseball. And in baseball, Coach Bobby Gillum is still in the process of building a competitive program, which I think, John, you would agree that's something that just doesn't happen overnight, particularly in a sport like baseball.
You're absolutely correct. You know what I think a lot of people don't understand sometimes, that coaching is not just X's and O's. It's not what goes on the field or on the court. To build a winning program takes a winning culture, and it's not developed overnight. And so for Bobby had a challenge for him coming in to build a winning culture in our baseball program. Again, going back to the playing in Region 14, tough conference for baseball. I believe we had 41 players sign Division I scholarships out of our north side of our conference, north side of the region last year. So that's just the level of competition our baseball team is going up against. And so to build a winning program in that kind of conference, to build a winning culture that you want to build, it takes time. And Bobby's doing a great job doing that. I've been able to go out and watch his team practice a little bit this year already, and it's exciting to watch, and I think they're gonna really surprise some people this year. Again, I know we're probably next episode we'll get into talking kind of preview, but Bobby's doing a heck of a job and putting a lot of hard work into it.
Well, and some of that hard work Coach Gillum has done has been making great improvements to the baseball facilities. He's had a few players also that have really stood out, like former Captain Shreve Gator product, Kyle Cook, infielder Willie Ward. Cook signed with a university in Kansas, a 4-year school in Kansas, while Willie Ward signed with Southern University down in Baton Rouge. Some other players who played well last year and who are returning for Coach Gillum and his Cavaliers include outfielders Kyle Jones and Gavin Pelletier, along with catcher Ty Dragos. And you touched on it. You know, I coached baseball, and you know, and so baseball is very dear to me. It's kind of my first love, but you know, they are moving forward, and it takes a while, it takes a process, but he has a little bit of a good foundation returning, especially in those 3 young men.
Yeah, those 3 guys were pivotal players for him last year out in the field. Great position players, and bringing those kids back will definitely play a big role in the success that the baseball program has this season. All 3 of those guys are good student athletes, and we've got a lot of new faces in, a couple of other returners, a lot of new faces, and so it's going to be an exciting year for our baseball program.
Now we get to Coach Amanda Nordberg Hamilton and her softball program, and her Lady Cavalier softball program, something very special to me, and you'll have to excuse my exuberance because last year's softball team was, in a word, exciting. They were just dynamic, and you know, we could take up the entire show just talking about the 2018 Lady Cavaliers softball team, so I'll try my best to break it down for y'all. Last year, the Lady Cavaliers had the greatest season in school history. They finished with an overall record of 44-13 and a record of 22-6 in Region 14 play. The 44 victories were the most wins in a season in Lady Cavaliers softball history. They were the Region 14 regular season co-champions, a first for this program in over a decade. Coach Amanda Nordberg Hamilton and her assistant coach Kurt Williams have led the Lady Cavaliers to an unprecedented 86 wins over the past 2 seasons. BPCC posted back-to-back 40-plus win seasons for the first time in program history. And Coach Hamilton and Coach Williams were named the Region 14 Coaching Staff of the Year by their peer coaches in the region. And quite an amazing year for the Lady Cavaliers.
It was, and for them to receive that award is quite an accomplishment. We're the only Louisiana school that plays in Region 14, and so you know, we might be a little bit of an outsider because we're in a conference with all East Texas schools, but for Amanda and Coach Kurt's peers to have the respect and admiration for them to select them as coaching staff of the year is quite an accomplishment and well deserved. The past 2 seasons have been phenomenal. You know, the wins, the advancing to the tournament, and so close both years to advancing to the World Series. We're very, very proud of the work that they've done.
The Lady Cavaliers had a core group of 8 sophomores: Elisa Favela, Chelsea Fagan, Jalen Launche, Shelrika Bryant, Morgan Bullock, Tyler Robinson, Mae Jones, and Raina McKean, that all played an integral part in the program's success the last 2 years. I believe, John, you probably agree with me that that group of young ladies will go down in history as some of the finest softball players to ever play here at Bossier Parish Community College.
Yeah, to have such a large group of sophomores on any team that contributed as much as they did, were the leaders that they were, and led to the amount of success that the team had is pretty special. They were a special group. Again, they weren't just special on the field; they were special off the field. I'll always remember the regional tournament, the last game when they lost out, and it was heartbreaking to watch those girls play their last game as a Cavalier. But it's funny, a lot of them have been up here already this fall, and I give them a hard time. I said, like, we can't get rid of y'all, but they're not a group that we want to get rid of. They'll, you know, all of our student athletes, they'll always be Cavaliers, and those young ladies especially, they'll always be Lady Cavaliers.
Well, one special Lady Cavalier in particular, Elisa Favela, batted .478 with 19 home runs and 73 RBIs for the Lady Cavs last season. She also posted a 17-7 record with a 2.01 earned run average in the circle. She was a first-team All-Region 14 selection, a second-team All-American, and she virtually rewrote the BPCC softball record book in her 2 seasons here. Isa has returned to BPCC this semester to complete her coursework before heading to Southern Arkansas University to join her teammates Shelrika Bryant and Chelsea Fagan. And just what a special young lady she is, and it's great to have her back at least for 1 semester.
It is, and I'm just proud of Isa for coming back and having the fortitude, so to speak, to finish out her associate's degree and get that education, because that is our #1 goal for all of our student athletes. We want them to complete their associate's degree here at BPCC, and then she's going to be able to do that, and our next goal for all of them is to move on and get their bachelor's degree, which she'll be able to do at Southern Arkansas.
Well, this young lady, Chelsea Fagan, had one of those dream seasons in 2018. Chelsea batted .454 and led the NJCAA Division I with 38 home runs. She drove in an incredible 86 runs en route to being chosen as the Region 14 Player of the Year. She was a first-team All-Region and All-Conference selection as an infielder, was the Co-Conference Player of the Year, and she was a first-team NJCAA All-American, as well as a first-team Fast Pitch Coaches Association All-American. John, have you ever seen a player have the type of season that Chelsea had last year?
No, Chelsea had a very, very special season, as evidenced by the long list of accolades that you just called out. But anytime you see a pitcher, a batter, a hitter in softball get intentionally walked, you know they're special. You know, just it doesn't happen that often in softball, but Chelsea received many intentional walks because every time she stepped to the plate, she was a threat to hit it out, and she just did so many things for the team that it resulted in the success they had.
Sharika Bryant was a Region 14 player, all-conference player. She also, was a 2-year starter. She was a conference player last year. Mae Jones also had a great year. She was a academic all-conference, and just a really special group of young ladies. Sharika and Chelsea, as I mentioned, heading on to Southern Arkansas University. Issa will meet them eventually, but just kind of put a bow on just what a great season the softball team had.
Yeah, it was a great season and just set a standard for us moving forward for the level of accomplishment that we want to have for all of our programs.
Well, John, thanks for being our guest today, and we appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to visit with us, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on this inaugural episode of Cavletics. Join us again each and every Friday throughout the fall semester as we bring you the latest on Bossier Parish Community College athletics. I'm Charlie Cavell, bidding you a good sports day.